Let's jump right into it.
Okay.
Girl, just press the fucking button.
Hey.
Press it one more fucking time.
That's racist.
Press the button.
Barbara, please.
I will use your face to press the button on that screen right now if you don't press that fucking button with your hand.
Okay.
This is Derek and Romaine.
2.0, bitches. Who needs to press the button when you got an AI, Derek?
That's right. You no longer need human hands to press anything because artificial intelligence is pressing all of our buttons these days.
Sure is. Woo! Anyway, yeah.
Well, Derek here along with Romaine. In a few minutes, we're going to be joined by the CEO of the FilterOff app, which is a video dating app. Zach Schleien is going to be with us, and he is going to tell us all about the unusual way that artificial intelligence has helped them with their app. And you know what? It's not entirely the way you think. So we'll talk about that in just a few moments with him. But first, there have been a lot of recent developments in artificial intelligence.
Not just the AI that pretended to be Derek and Romaine.
No, but that was fun.
That was cool. I was shocked by how accurate it was. Like, I guess I didn't realize how advanced AI has become.
So we've had two Derek and Romaine interactions with AI. One is somebody asked the AI to write a paragraphs about our show and our history, and that was interesting. And then somebody else had AI duplicate our voices, and that was okay.
I thought it was I would give it like a 75%.
Yeah, I think it was, it started strong and then it kind of faded. And maybe it just wasn't given enough information to work with. Maybe the technology is too early in the process. But I feel like if we have 20 years of content here, if AI can't accurately replicate our voices with this much material.
Right.
Because it is actually, it all boils down to roughly somewhere in the neighborhood of 2 to 3 full years of us talking without a break.
Ooh, that's a long time.
When you think about it. Because, our old show used to be 4 hours a day, right?
Yeah.
So, and even now with the 2 hours we do, we don't take breaks in it. So it's quite a lot of content we are churning out. And the AI could listen to all of it and have literal years of us talking to work with. So I suspect that in the future, that content will be a little bit better. Although I think this is part of the problem with the AI is that sometimes I think the AI could be good at predicting certain vocal inflections, right?
Right.
But not always. Or certain interest in topics, but not always. But all of us have sort of go-to things. Meryl Streep has talked about this as an actor, that people are always asking her about sort of what her secrets as an actor is. And she has said, I don't want to talk about it because as soon as I tell you what they are, that's all you'll see in my performance, right? So an AI may be able to catch on to what Meryl Streep is doing and replicate a Meryl Streep performance in the future. But if she's not explicitly saying, this is what I'm doing, it may be hard to always discern, what it might be. But we already have a situation. The music industry is very concerned because somebody created an AI mashup of Drake and The Weeknd. Mm-hmm. And the song became a viral hit.
Yeah. I mean, it was actually not a bad song.
Well, and that's the scary part because real human people have written terrible songs many, many times.
Yeah.
If the AI can write a good song, that's trouble.
Yeah, or just a better song.
Well, that would be very bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, God. Terrifying. But it could happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for funsies, the guys over at South Park, they did an episode recently about AI, and they used AI to write part of the show
Oh, that's
itself.
interesting.
Yeah. And South Park, again, is the kind of thing where there's a lot of content here.
Here's the question I have, though. If an AI writes part of a TV show or a song, do they own the copyright?
Well, this is a very this is where a lot of people are concerned because
Right.
the AI, especially for AI generated photos, right? The AI is pulling elements from other photos in order to create this. So, it's not generating nothing from nothing the way that a creative person creates nothing from nothing. An AI is creating something from other somethings. And so in that case, the original rights holders say, hey, wait a minute, this AI is using part of my photos to create an AI generated photo. I am part of the creator of that photo.
Right.
An author, Stephen March, he actually used 3 different AI programs to help him write a murder mystery novella called Death of an Author, ironically enough. And he said that he did a lot of the sort of main plotting, but he used the AI to do a lot of the sort of the fill-in part of the writing, descriptions and scenes and that kind of thing. So he was definitely guiding the AI. So it wasn't 100% AI, but he was participating in the writing process, even though the AI programs were writing quite a bit of the novella itself. So it's a very gray area where one person's creativity ends and the AI's work really begins. But I think it's going to be like one of the something that Fran Lebowitz said about journalism, that basically everybody is picking off the bones of the New York Times, right? That a lot of our more recent viral media companies, they are just pulling stories from companies that have real newsrooms and repurposing that content because it's cheap and easy to do it.
Right.
But they're not really generating anything new and creative. And you could see that AI would accelerate that kind of a process that was already going on.
Sure. Interesting. All right.
It is interesting. And I understand that people have concerns about it. I think the biggest concern is going to be in this space of there are genuinely creative people who are genuinely creating things. What happens when the AI is basically stealing from them?
Right.
Well, how do you address that? How do you pick apart what was stolen from you by an AI and how? Because these programs are not, they don't give you all the information of how the AI sources its content.
Right.
So I think that's going to be the big battle in the future.
Huh. Interesting. Well, I guess we'll wait and find out. But yeah, I definitely think there's a lot of gray area here. And, there's going to have to be some kind of rules and shit written about it because it's like a whole new world.
Right. But there is some, in a way, some positive / I feel like with so much of the conversation about AI is, on the one hand, it will create all sorts of new and interesting things.
Yeah.
And but there are also downsides to a lot of that too. But recently, users on Reddit started paying for nude photos of a model named Claudia.
Okay.
But it turns out Claudia is not a real person. These were AI generated nudes.
Oh.
That people were paying for. So again, you could say, well, on the one hand, this will be beneficial to prevent, sex trafficking or, there's something like that.
Sure.
Women who are forced into sex work against their will. Maybe that will become less profitable if AI takes up a lot of space. But the downside of that also is there are any number of young people who use social media and whatever to make a living, that they don't have any hang-ups about being naked on the web. And, it's safer than standing on a street corner, right?
Right.
If you're just putting nude content on the internet that you control. But if AI totally puts everybody like that out of work, any number of people who would have seen this as a avenue to generate revenue, especially in their 20s, will suddenly won't be available to them.
Yeah. Wow. It's a wild new world.
It is a wild new world.
I mean, it's exciting on the one hand, but it also is a little terrifying. Like, are we as people going to even need to be useful in the future?
I mean, I've met a lot of people that aren't useful right now. Zing!
Valid.
But
That is very valid, Derek.
One thing in the limitations of AI,
Yeah.
because we've seen that AI can only get so far in terms of developing self-driving cars and that kind of
Right.
thing. And there has been a lot of talk that one of the limits of AI may be that it can't fully interact with the world, that it does not have the five senses that we have.
Right. Oh, that's
And
true.
in particular, taste and touch. Because, for instance, AI can generate recipes, but as we have seen, some of the recipes taste
Are horrible.
disgusting. Right.
That makes sense.
And it's because they're part of creating a recipe is the trial and error of
tasting things.
tasting it and seeing the texture and whatever else. There's a lot that goes into a recipe that AI could put a bunch of ingredients together based on, compilations of recipes throughout history, but it doesn't mean that they will be able to churn out a positive end product because they don't know what it's going to taste like or feel like or how it's going to come together.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes
But
total
it's the
sense.
same thing with, self-driving cars, is that even human beings have a hard time, is that a shadow in the road or is it a stick or is it a hole? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like even
sometimes you have to interpret very fast on the fly.
Right. But our brain also is sort of calculating what that might be, and as we're getting closer to it, trying to figure it out. But even still, we struggle with simple things like that.
Right.
And the AI also struggles with it, but at least we know what a puddle is, or a pot versus a pothole, or even if you see a puddle hole in a road, we can make some kind of calculation of how deep do I think that really is based on my experience, which an AI may not be able to do for quite some time. So there are definitely limitations, but then I think, oh God, well, the only way to resolve that is for the AI to be able to be in our physical world.
Oh,
and
God, no. Mm-mm.
That's pretty much
That's
the
terrifying.
Terminator.
That's the Terminator, yep. And then we all die. And the machines use us as batteries, and we live in the Matrix. Oh, exciting.
Well,
Whoa.
I've got bad news for you. I think there are better ways to generate electricity than using human babies as batteries. So I don't even think we would be valuable in the Matrix.
Oh, wow.
Sorry.
So we're just dead? We're just gone? They've
Yeah, probably.
eliminated us from the planet?
Probably.
How nice. How nice. Oh, how
Yeah.
exciting.
But in the meantime, all we have is each other. And that is the cornerstone of dating. So we might as well meet each other and get it on
Yeah, I like that.
while we wait for the AI to take over.
Oh, God.
So coming up next, we're going to be joined by Zach Schleien from the FilterOff app. You're listening to Derek and Romaine.
Stay tuned for more Derek and Romaine.
We are thrilled to welcome Blue Chew to DNR, and you can feel the love as well when you use our promo code DNR at bluechew.com.
You know, Derek, there's nothing sexier, honestly, than a partner who has a lot of confidence when it comes to the bedroom. And, sometimes you need a little boost, a little performance-enhancing boost to make you feel a little bit more confident. And this is where Blue Chew comes in handy, because it is basically got the same active ingredients that you would find in Viagra and Cialis, but it's in a chewable form for a fraction of the cost, and it's a unique online service that delivers all of those ingredients super easy and right to your home.
That's right. It couldn't be easier to try Blue Chew. You just go to bluechew.com and get all signed up, and then they connect you with a licensed medical professional. You talk to them about your situation because, some of these chewables are perfect for a night. Sometimes you need something for a weekend. So you talk to the licensed medical professional about what your needs are, your goals, yourself, your life, and once approved, they will ship right to your door.
Yeah, so when you go to bluechew.com and you use that promo code DNR, You're going to get your first month free. You're just going to pay $5 for the shipping when you enter that DNR code at checkout. Now, Blue Chew is an online prescription service, so there's no visits to the doctor's office. There's no weird conversations, talking about your naughty bits, and there's no waiting in line at a pharmacy. It literally ships right to your door in a super discreet package, so no one even knows what it is. I'm telling you, this service is exactly what guys need to get that extra boost of confidence, to feel a little bit better, and honestly, and it's so much less expensive than some of the alternatives out there.
That's right. So go to bluechew.com. That's BLUECHEW.com. Remember to use our promo code DNR at checkout to get your first month free. You'll just pay $5 shipping, and you too can have the confidence that comes from Blue Chew.
DNR 2.0.
Derek here along with Romaine, and joining us now, it is the CEO of the FilterOff app. Zach Schleien is with us, and you can check out the app. It is available now in the Apple App Store and Google Play, and on the web at getfilteroff.com. Zach, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
You bet. Now, FilterOff is a video dating app. So what specifically sets it apart from the sea of other dating apps that are out there?
Yeah, for sure. So with FilterOff, it's really about dating people and not profiles. So every day you are given curated picks based off your preferences. And if you match, we set you up with a AI matchmaker to help you curate your first video date. And once you go on your video date, it's 4 minutes in length. You could play different icebreaker games. And once it concludes, if you both like one another, you could hop back on a longer video call and go from there. So it's really a video-first experience. It takes the superficiality out of online dating.
And did you say an AI matchmaker?
That's correct.
How does that work?
Yeah. So with artificial intelligence, we've leveraged that to help introduce the matches and help you get on your first video date, tying in your preferences and your interests. So it kind of has like someone else in the room with you to kick off your first video date.
That's crazy.
Now, but this is not the first application of artificial intelligence you guys have used in putting this app together and having it function.
That's correct.
Tell us about your bot problem.
There's a bot problem.
For sure. So about a year and a half ago, when FilterOff started to get popular, we noticed an influx of scammers. And scammers are on every dating app. It's actually a very big problem in this industry. And when the scammers came, we tried deleting them. And it was almost like whack-a-mole. They would just come back. So what did we do? We built a proprietary algorithm to siphon the scammers off in what we call a dark dating pool. So they're away from our actual users. And then in this dark dating pool, we injected bots. So these bots are now chatting with the scammers, where the scammers believe they're actually speaking to our users. And it keeps them on our platform, and it gets them quite frustrated. So we've been using AI for over a year and a half now.
So basically, you have scammers and bots who are chatting each other up in this sort of weird virtual space where nothing is real.
Correct.
That's crazy.
So, and apparently the AI bot, because as we have seen in numerous stories about AI, it starts to take on a personality of its own. I read in an article where you guys talked about this, that interesting conversations started to take place between the AI chatbots and the scammers.
Yeah, a ton of different conversations. And our bots have all different sorts of personalities as well.
And so apparently the scammers and the bots were both trying to get gift cards out of each other.
Yeah, so scammers, their number one way of scamming people is actually asking for money in the form of gift cards. And yes.
This happened to my brother once.
So yeah, that's what took place.
That's funny.
Crazy.
I mean, that is really funny, though. I love that. Maybe they are a match made in heaven.
Yeah, seriously, right? But it doesn't start to authentic. They're both often lying about genders and it's or just who they are as a person. So I don't know how great of a match it would be, but it is quite hilarious. And we recorded a number of these conversations on our YouTube channel.
That's amazing. Go ahead, Dirk.
I was just going to say, but this sort of really gets to the heart of a lot of the issues and concerns that people have with online dating is, are you really getting what is being sold to you, right? Is the person really who they say they are? Are they fully and accurately representing themselves? And I understand this is a big part of why you wanted to do the video component of it, because it's much harder for that. But you're also facing the same issues with people like scammers that many dating apps have to contend with.
Yeah. Given the nature that we're a video dating app, that problem, especially around catfishing, is basically non-existent. Scammers will sometimes, in this case, will try to get you off the platform. So we do have messaging in the app like, hey, if anyone tries to exchange numbers with you before video chatting, it is likely a scammer. So things of that nature to educate the user. But the beauty, again, of FilterOff is that the user experience is you're expected to go on a video chat. So if someone's asking, hey, let's chat offline, it's a little suspicious. And then if you go on a video chat, you'll clearly see this is not the person that you expected in the profile picture.
All right, so you guys are fixing the problem of catfishing. So Zach, I mean, it's been a long time since I've had to date anyone. I've been married for a good long time. But this all seems so crazy that this is how people get to know each other now.
In terms of video?
Well, just in terms of I got to be honest. Maybe it's just because I'm old. But I mean,
you sound old.
I know. But the idea of I got to get on a video and try to talk to some people, and then I get on another video and try. I mean, this seems crazy to me. And it works. It really works.
Yeah, I mean, I think what it comes down to, right? You could totally, and I'm just sharing just for any sort of user or anyone who's single,
right?
Is you could totally go on a blind date, or you could meet someone from a dating app and have a really good texting conversation and meet them for dinner or at a coffee shop. But there's a massive opportunity cost because it often leads to bad first dates. A, you may get there and they may not look like their photos. Or B, they may be a total creep. Or C, you just don't have chemistry. And the beauty of having a video experience prior to meeting up in person is it just cuts all of that out. And you just within 4 minutes, you can kind of have a feeling of whether you actually want to meet this person in person. So we save you a lot of time, a lot of money, and a lot of just emotional distress following a bad first date.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah, I think the real issue that Romaine has here is she likes to run her game in person. And
I'm much more charming in person.
Yeah. She's not able to put on her full charm offensive. But I just think in her case, she has a particular in-person strategy, but a lot of people for dating don't. And so in this way, it is beneficial for people who are not good at walking up to somebody at a bar or an event or something. They don't have that kind of confidence to walk across the room. And so the app really can be helpful, especially in that kind of a situation.
Yeah.
For sure.
Do you think that the video part makes people less shy?
I think, no, it's an interesting question. I mean, we attract singles that are looking for something more serious.
Right.
So in terms of less shy, I think what it just allows you to show your true self. It's very easy to be on a dating app and you're receiving messages and you don't even know if you're receiving messages from a human or maybe you're receiving messages from artificial intelligence. So like a tool that you're using to generate messages that aren't even you. So it gets a little funky, especially in 2023 with the rise of AI and using just dating apps in general. So I just, based off of the feedback, based off the data and the successes, I mean, video is just the no-brainer option for online dating.
Now, with FilterOff, you guys have also started to get into in-person events as well as an expansion of this connection that can happen through the app. So why don't you talk a bit about sort of moving people from the virtual world into the real world?
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, we do offer in-person singles events. Right now, they're primarily held in New York City. We host about 10 every month for different communities and different themes. So it really allows you to tap into your community with others that are single and connect with others that are like-minded.
And is FilterOff for everybody, like gay people, straight people, bi people?
Yes.
Everyone?
Yes. We
That's
have
awesome.
over 100 gender identities. Yeah. It's a extremely inclusive app. That's what FilterOff is all about. Just to find, love, whoever you are.
So as a lesbian, if I were to get on it, I don't have to worry about like some pervy straight guy trying to hit on me, right?
Yeah, so you have your preferences to set it based off what you're looking for, so you wouldn't have that problem.
Oh, thank goodness, because that's the
Hooray,
worst.
she gets to be the pervert. So
That's
that's her dream
Thank
come
you.
true. But Zach, you guys launched FilterOff in February of 2020. Great timing. So did you suddenly think a month later, oh God, I've made a huge mistake? Like, what did you think?
I would think the opposite, because everyone was stuck at home with nothing but videos to keep each other company.
Yes. What was your thought?
Yeah, I mean, for FilterOff, it was quite impactful. Online dating overnight changed, where people prior to the pandemic felt a bit uneasy video chatting. And then once the pandemic hit, as you mentioned, people started feeling super lonely and disconnected. People turned to video and just became just another way of human connection. And the cat's out of the bag. Video is now a way for people to connect prior to meeting up in person.
Nice.
All right. Now, I want to ask you a bit about your past, your before FilterOff life, Zach.
Okay.
So at one point, you did start a business with your mom.
Oh.
What did you learn about being in business with your mom?
Oh, I loved it. Like my mom was like my closest friend. So it was great just working with her. And I think we saw each other in a different light. Love her very much. So it was a pretty special experience working with her on a paleo muffin company.
Okay, a paleo muffin company? That's amazing.
Thank you.
I love that. You've had some interesting career choices.
I have.
How do you go from paleo muffin to video dating?
But you could enjoy a paleo muffin together on your video date.
Now, can I ask you a personal question, Zach?
Yeah, for sure.
Are you in a relationship?
At the moment, no.
So are you currently using FilterOff to try to find a relationship?
Yes, and I've been in relationships from FilterOff in the past as well.
Oh, interesting. And how did the AI do in terms of pairing you up?
I mean, I think what it comes down to is relationships are hard to find your person.
Right.
And I've been in a number of relationships in the past. Clearly, they have not worked out. But it's a learning experience. You learn.
Sure.
And I think what it comes down to is it's really on you to keep putting yourself out there. And AI is just a tool to assist you to get to your goal. But it's really on you to put in the effort and then hopefully be at the right place at the right time to meet your person.
And you're on Instagram. You have quite a following there. And I am curious about your thoughts as the CEO of a startup and an app, and sort of the space that we're in now with tech companies and the forward-facing executives at these companies. Do you feel like having an Instagram presence, being a personality in your own right related to your tech company is an important part of what it is to be the CEO of a tech company in 2023?
It's actually a really great question. I think it is yes and no. FilterOff, it's not about me. I don't actually want to be the face of FilterOff. I think that takes away from the experience. With FilterOff, though, for letters, like emails to users, some of them do come behalf of me. I think that's important in terms of our positions around the industry, and how we look to improve the product as a whole. And then it's, I think, a case-by-case example. In terms of whether a CEO or an executive wants to highlight themselves, whether it's on any sort of social media. I think some do it more so than others. I think I'm in between. I do like to highlight my life to some degree, but I also want privacy as well. I think that's very important. So that's kind of how I think about online social media in reference to executives.
And just in general in the industry, because you recently got a big round of funding, congratulations. Do you feel like this though is part of the Silicon Valley ethos of this is sort of how brands establish themselves and how they're sort of viewed through a media lens of there is a product, there is a startup, and then there's sort of a charismatic leader to varying degrees, because we've seen not all tech moguls are charismatic, but let's just say that this is a part of the story. So did you feel, because this is not your first app that you've developed or your first startup, so you have some experience in this area. So I'm just curious about your, when you look across the landscape, do you feel like this is part of the dance of having a startup, that this is sort of a part of the job?
Yes and no again. I think what it comes down to is the DNA of FilterOff. I'm a part of that DNA. I'm really into human connection, authenticity, and that's kind of the vision for FilterOff and our North Star of like just establishing really incredible connections for people, and a really efficient experience. And that's what I love too. So that's my persona, I guess, is displayed in our product itself. I think it's important as the CEO to be passionate about what you're building and share with users and the media and investors about what you're building. Not everyone shares that sentiment, but I would say I agree with you for the most part. A lot of executives are more extroverted. Some of them are louder than others. But I think everyone has a different spin, and I think what's most important is not to necessarily compare yourself with other executives, but do what kind of feels right for you. And kind of for me, this is like my happy medium to kind of share what I'm passionate about, have some sort of privacy, but for the most part, just believe in the vision. And that's what I want. Is I believe it's so essential for singles to video dates. So they don't go on bad first dates, but they don't spend money that they don't need to, that they don't waste time that they don't need to waste, and provide them an experience that overall leads to positive outcomes. So that's what I'm really passionate about.
Wonderful. Well,
I
Zach,
love it. I think it's great.
Yes, me too. I appreciate you taking time with us, and I hope everyone checks out the FilterOff app for themselves. Single people,
Makes me wish
get
I
out
was
there.
single again.
Probably better. They have enough problems with scammers and bots.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Thanks,
They
Derek.
don't need you too, running your games all over. Awesome. Thanks so much, Zach.
Thank you for the time. Have a great one.
Thanks, you too. Our thanks to Zach Schleien for being with us. He is the CEO of FilterOff. You can check out the app now in the Apple App Store, Google Play, and of course on the web at getfilteroff.com. And they are also on Twitter, GetFilterOff on Twitter as well. You're listening to Derek and Romaine. Well, there you have it. The end of another perfect episode of Derek and Romaine. And if you want more great fun, go to dnrstudios.com and subscribe to get our show every day. And don't forget, for DNR Plus subscribers, you can use the DNR Cast app for iPhone, available now in the App Store.